Retirement is a dream for many, but those retirement plans have altered for some over the past year.
In fact, the last 12 months have brought about high inflation, a volatile stock market, and threat of a recession. These compounding issues are affecting how Americans save for retirement and view retirement as a whole.
In a survey of more than 2,000 adults conducted by the Harris Poll, several key findings came to light. And to help us sift through the report and provide some practical takeaways is investing and retirement expert Alana Benson. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Alana, whenever we start talking about money, people start to clench up a little bit. Everybody has a different relationship with money. So we appreciate you being able to come on and give us some clarity. So let's start with this. How has inflation impacted people's retirement plans?
So one quick note, I am not a financial advisor, and this is not personalized investment advice, but the last few years have been really tough on everyone's wallets, right? Inflation has been really difficult to be with. So inflation reduces your money's purchasing power. So if you had a year's worth of grocery money saved up, that same dollar amount may only be able to purchase 8 months worth in a time of high inflation. And according to the survey, more than 1 in 4 Americans, or 27%, say that they saved less than they normally would for retirement over the last 12 months due to inflation.
As we kind of looked over the report ourselves, we see that a lot of people plan to retire early as age 57, in fact. Is that something that is still possible at this point?
That's going to depend on everyone's individual financial situation. Obviously, if you had a retirement target in mind and you weren't able to save as much due to inflation, that's certainly going to be able to affect when you're going to be able to retire. But other people maybe were able to put a little more money in their pocket due to the COVID or other factors of having more cash. So it'll really depend on everyone's individual situation.
Absolutely. What are you seeing, though? I mean, I know you're not a financial planner, but you report on things just like we do as far as what people are doing and what seems to be working. Has anything caught your eye as far as something that seems to be working in a positive direction, even amidst the inflation?
In a positive way, it's tough, right? If you're trying to buy eggs, it's certainly not feeling very positive right now. For some folks who are able to retire earlier than they thought, that's great. That's something that a lot of people would love to be able to do. But again, that's just not going to be everyone's situation.
Whatever their dreams and desires for their future, what should people consider when planning their retirement? What's the advice out there right now?
So it'll certainly depend in what stage of life that you're in. But if you are hoping to retire, it's always good to think about what kind of retirement number you'd like to arrive at. And we have some calculators on nerdwallet.com that can help people figure out what their retirement number is and how to achieve that goal. And of course, for those people who are starting out, maybe they're younger, maybe they're just entering the workforce, even though they are earlier into their journey and retirement feels very far away, it's really important to start thinking about retirement as soon as possible.
Absolutely. And you know what? I think you bring up a good point. Have the conversation, at least start it, because you might be surprised at how fast or what you could be tangibly doing to actually make it a reality.
Alana, thank you so much. You can head to allindiana.tv to view the full report. Thanks again for being with us. We appreciate your time today.
Thanks for having me.